The desert wind screamed across Black Mesa when Clara McGill's wagon wheel snapped like a brittle twig. She had been riding for 2 days without rest, fleeing the men who claimed she owed a debt that wasn't hers. Now, dust stung her eyes, her horse trembled beneath her, and the sun was sinking like a dying ember. She thought she was alone, until a shadow stepped out of the canyon. A tall rancher, broad-shouldered, hat pulled low, horse reins loose in his hand. His coat was worn, his boots scarred from miles of hard riding. And his eyes, dark, steady, held a kind of quiet danger. "You're a long way from help, sister," he said, voice low and calm. "Storm's coming up behind you." Clara stiffened. "I don't need help." The rancher's jaw tightened. "Ma'am, you need a whole lot more than you think." Before she could argue, a distant thunder of hoofbeats echoed across the canyon. The men chasing her were back on her trail. Panic clutched her chest. The rancher saw it. "Get down," he murmured. "But, just sit, sister, trust me." He guided her toward a flat rock ledge, his hand firm but gentle. Clara's breath hitched, fear, confusion, exhaustion all tangled, but she obeyed. Then she felt it underneath. The ledge wasn't stone, it was hollow. A hidden trapdoor, carved into the mesa. The rancher flipped the panel open with practiced ease, revealing a dark shelter beneath the rock. Supplies, water, blankets, and more importantly, enough space for her to hide. Clara looked at him, stunned. "Why are you helping me?" "Because I know the kind of men who hunt folks like you," he said quietly. "And I won't let them touch you." As she climbed down into the hidden shelter, she heard the hoofbeats draw closer, louder, angrier. The rancher closed the trapdoor just as the riders swept into the canyon like wolves. Clara held her breath, darkness pressing around her, listening to the muffled shouts above. "Where is she? You seen a woman come through here. She owes us, don't lie to us, Tanner." Tanner. So the rancher had a name. And from the hard edge in their voices, they feared him. Minutes stretched like hours. Then silence. A moment later, Tanner lifted the trapdoor. His face was shadowed, expression unreadable. "They're gone," he said. "But they'll be back. You staying alive tonight depends on what you decide next." Clara swallowed hard. "Decide, what?" Tanner's eyes locked onto hers, serious and unshakable. "Whether you trust me long enough to get you out of this desert alive." And for the first time in days, Clara felt safer than she had any right to. To be continued. Part 2, Beneath the Dust, A Heart Beats. Night settled over Black Mesa like a blanket of obsidian. Coyotes howled in the distance as Clara walked beside Tanner's horse, her fingers grazing the saddle for balance. "Where are you taking me?" she asked. Tanner didn't look back. "Somewhere those men won't dare follow." His tone left no room for argument. But Clara couldn't silence her own thoughts. Why had he helped her? Why risk himself for a stranger? As they reached the ridge overlooking his ranch, the moon revealed acres of quiet land, fences mended by careful hands, lanterns glowing softly from the porch, and a barn standing tall despite the years. "This is your home," she whispered. "Only place I got left," he answered. "And tonight, it's yours too." Inside the ranch house, Tanner set a pot of coffee on the stove, his movements calm, steady. Clara watched him, noticing the small limp in his gait, the scars on his forearm, the loneliness in his eyes. "What happened to you?" she finally asked. Tanner paused. "Same thing that's happening to you," he murmured. "Good folks cornered by bad men." He sat across from her, leaning forward. "Tell me why they're hunting you." Clara clasped her hands. "My brother died owing them money. They said the debt passes to family. When I refused, they tried to take me." Tanner's eyes darkened, not with anger, but something deeper. "That ain't a debt," he said. "That's a noose." Before she could reply, the distant crack of a rifle shattered the night. Tanner grabbed her wrist. Down. The window exploded inward. They had found her. "Tanner," she gasped. "I'm putting you in danger." He pressed her against the floor, shielding her with his body. "Listen to me," he said through clenched teeth. "You didn't bring danger here. It's been here a long time. I'm just finally choosing what to stand for." He pulled her to her feet, guiding her through the kitchen door and into the root cellar outside. "Just sit, sister," he whispered again, the same calm tone from the canyon. "Trust me." She slid into the cellar, and then she felt it underneath. Warm earth, lamp oil, footprints. This wasn't a hiding place. It was an ambush point. A moment later, Tanner stepped down beside her, rifle in hand. When they come around that barn, he said, they'll expect me alone. But, Clara, his voice softened, you're safe with me, I promise. The riders thundered around the corner, 3 of them, armed, shouting. But Tanner was ready. One warning shot split the night. Another hit a man's hat clean off his head. A third ricocheted at their feet, forcing their horses to buck and rear. Next ones go where I aim, Tanner growled. Leave the lady alone. This land isn't yours to hunt on. The riders hesitated, then fled into the night, cursing as they disappeared into the desert wind. Silence. Clara exhaled a shaking breath. Tanner lowered his rifle and looked at her. You're safe now, he said quietly. She stepped forward, heart pounding. You didn't have to protect me like that. No, Tanner replied, voice low. But I wanted to. She felt it again then, underneath everything. Not fear, not danger, but something steady, something gentle, something she never expected to find in the middle of a desert. Hope. Tanner tipped his hat. You can stay here as long as you need. Clara met his gaze, a small, trembling smile forming. Maybe, she said softly, I need longer than I thought. And beneath the vast western sky, the rancher who had nothing, and the woman who had lost everything, found that sometimes, the